Now, that doesn't mean she's doing better than Trump generally against Biden. Trump is still ahead of Biden in the polls in most of the swing states, at least according to Morning Consult. But it's still an interesting result for the New Hampshire poll. And the momentum seems to have worked for Nikki Haley. It was announced this week that the powerful political network Americans for Prosperity Action, which is closely tied to billionaire industrialist Charles Koch, has endorsed her and plans to launch a multi-million-dollar ad campaign this week in a number of Super Tuesday states and all early voting states. Now, it shouldn't surprise us that someone like Charles Koch and his affiliates would endorse Nikki Haley. She's an establishment pick, polite, safe, acceptably conservative for the leftist media and cultural forces, and not America first. Perfect for the Democrat-Republican uniparty and big business. Certainly, Ron DeSantis made similar aspersions when asked his opinion on the endorsement.
The Koch brothers yesterday or this morning, endorsed Nikki Haley. What are your thoughts of that?
Well, look, I think that their network has taken certain positions that are conservative, some that are not. I mean, for example, they are not someone that wants to control immigration. I think they've supported open borders. So Nikki is somebody that is very weak on immigration. She is not going to get that border secure. She would, of course, not build a wall, and she will not deport illegals who are here. And so I think that that gives her some synergy with that group. I think the other thing is they've been very supportive of reducing criminal sentences and releasing people from prison. I think that that's a bad policy. I think that that has failed in places like California. I think we've got to be tough on crime. We need to get these criminals off the streets. But I think they see in someone like Nikki somebody that's going to be more aligned with establishment interests.
But hang on, you might think, surely Nikki Haley isn't that bad. She worked for Trump, after all. Well, yes, she did for a time. But that doesn't mean she's not a rhino, that is, Republican in name only. Have a look at this ad that was put together by MAGA Inc. when Haley announced her run for president early this year.
Nikki Haley making it official.
She will have to directly challenge Donald Trump himself.
Donald Trump can't beat Hillary Clinton. His negatives are so high. His cap is at 35%. It is impossible for him to win a general.
Donald Trump is everything I taught my children not to do in kindergarten.
It's just an embarrassment to the Republican Party.
A man who has filed for bankruptcy 4 times.
Obama's address took a number of jabs at the rhetoric of Donald Trump, and then many were surprised when the Republican response did the same.
Nikki Haley, in her response to the State of the Union address, saying Republicans should resist, quote,
the siren call of the angriest voices. We must resist that temptation.
She confirmed she was referring to you, among others.
There are a lot of questions that Donald Trump hasn't answered. It is amazing. I'm an accountant. You could be undergoing an audit. There's no reason he can't release last year's tax returns.
Nikki Haley is now coming out criticizing her former boss, telling Politico in an extensive new piece, quote, I don't think he's going to be in the picture. I don't think he can.
This is one more project that Donald Trump is doing. Trump University, Trump Vodka, Trump Airlines, Trump Mortgage, all failed projects. This is one more project.
That's not who we want as president. We will not allow that in our country.
Not great bona fides displayed by Nikki Haley if you're a voter looking for someone who's not, Dick Cheney in a dress. But that's not all. Haley, like so many establishment politicians in the US, both Republican and Democrat, is, for lack of a better term, a warmonger. She is of the mentality that American intervention in foreign conflicts, no matter how futile, is a moral imperative. This attitude was on full display during the Republican nominee debate in August when she criticized Vivek Ramaswamy on foreign policy.
A win for Russia is a win for China. We have to know that. Ukraine is the first line of defense for us. And the problem that Vivek doesn't understand is he wants to hand Ukraine to Russia. He wants to let China eat Taiwan. He wants to go and stop funding Israel. You don't do that to friends. What you do instead is you have the backs of your friends. Ukraine is the front line of defense. Putin has said, if once Russia takes Ukraine, Poland and the Baltics are next. That's a world war. We're trying to prevent war. Look at what Putin did today. He killed Prigozhin. When I was at the UN, the Russian ambassador suddenly died. This guy is a murderer, and you are choosing a murderer over a pro-American country.
Now, while that rhetoric might sound all nice and fraternal, it's code for let's sink our teeth into every foreign war we can. And why wouldn't Nikki Haley have this attitude to war? War is very profitable if you're in the right business, and Haley certainly is. Not only was she on the board of Boeing for about a year, Boeing being one of the top defense contractors for US federal agencies, she still holds about $250,000 worth of Boeing stocks. It's very much in her best financial interests for that particular defense contractor to be doing good business.